All right, guys, I'm here with Crystal now. We just got back from doing a live show in New York City at Town Hall.
I'm wearing my own show's t-shirt, which is kind of embarrassing.
That's not embarrassing. Oh, shout out to whoever.
There, I got it. I got you.
Shout out to whoever made that. So I feel bad. I didn't get to meet this person. After the show, there was a meet and greet for Crystal and Sagar and their premium members. And I went to go grab Corin's brother and sister. And so I wasn't with them for 15 minutes. And I went back up there and I got to see some people. So shout out to everybody who came out. But one of the people that I missed made this shirt and I feel terrible
and
because
they were both wearing those shirts
man.
too. They were your total super fans.
So whoever, I love you. Whoever did that, I love you. I'm thinking of you. I'm going to wear this shirt the next time I'm on air. So big shout out to you. And shout out to the people who stayed after to wait to meet me outside because they missed me.
Yeah.
Mimi and Burke, I think his name was. Anyway, everybody was awesome. It was a phenomenal show. We had a great time. And I didn't realize until we got there that technically we were on Broadway.
Yes.
We did a Broadway show.
Yes.
I didn't realize that until afterwards or until we got there. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Tomorrow we have a show in Boston. So looking forward to that. Not looking forward to the travel, but looking forward to getting on stage again.
Train is nice.
Nah. But anyway, the reason I'm recording this video, and it's super late here, by the way, but the reason why I'm doing it is because we have Georgia results. And Raphael Warnock has been reelected, and Herschel Walker is down and out. Are you surprised by this result? I don't think you are. I asked you about it the other day.
No, I mean, there's always a chance, but based on the polling, which was pretty consistent, and the money advantage, and the early vote seemed to be it didn't seem to be, it was absolutely record-breaking, so that seemed like a good sign for Warnock. So, yeah, it was the result that I expected, but again, you just never fucking know.
So one of the things I saw was 55% of the vote was mail-in votes, so that obviously is good for Warnock and bad for Walker. I saw that Walker was underperforming the first round at one point in the night. I don't know if that was the case at the end. The other thing I saw is Walker was doing very well in the rural areas, but in the cities he was getting absolutely demolished. So those were some of the facts that I saw. When all is said and done, Warnock will win by anywhere from 2 to 4 points. So it's pretty solid Democratic victory. Again, we're talking about Georgia. This is typically viewed as a red state. And now you have Ossoff elected there, Warnock elected there, and now Warnock re-elected there. And by the way, proof of concept, you don't have to go all Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, even in a red state. You think, I got to vote with Republicans half the time in order to get elected in a red state. Bullshit. Warnock super served the base, and look at that. He got re-elected. And also, fucking Herschel Walker's the worst candidate of all time.
A horrific, candidate. I mean, that is the other real lesson is if Republicans had nominated just a normal candidate,
right,
who didn't have 18 different scandals that we learned about just this month, and who was able to coherently explain his thoughts on the world, and wasn't just Trump's handpicked whatever, then they probably would have won.
There were domestic violence allegations that came out against Herschel Walker in the last week or two.
Yeah.
He's every negative thing you can imagine, Herschel Walker is guilty of it. So anyway, he went down.
He's caught in a million different lies too.
Yeah. He says I have dissociative identity disorder or something, which he says I got 3 or 4 people that live inside of me, and one of them is really fucking violent and might kill you. This is shit that he said. There was a lot of reporting on this that came out this week. But anyway, enough with that. Amazing that Raphael Warnock won. The other thing I wanted to bring up is there was a case against Trump. Was this a criminal one or a civil one? I think it was criminal.
I think so, yeah. So
he has been found guilty of tax fraud. And originally when I read the headlines, I thought this was the Letitia James civil case.
This was Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA.
Right, so it wasn't the Letitia James civil case. They're asking for up to $250 million from the Trump organization. In that case, this is a different one, and he was found guilty by a jury, And
17 different counts, I think.
17 different counts,
Well,
that's right.
His organization.
His organization, yes, not him. But I think the fine is 1.6 million, you said earlier?
They said that was the max.
That was the max,
I mean,
okay.
that's a slap on the wrist. It means
That's
nothing to
nothing.
them. It's
That's
more
nothing.
about,
Yeah.
you know, I guess what it says about the way he ran his company.
Yeah, so in other words, I'm now interested even more in what's going to happen in the civil case with Letitia James. Maybe they're asking for $250 million in that case. Maybe they'll get it. You know, maybe they'll bankrupt the Trump organization with that lawsuit. You know, certainly being found criminally guilty on tax fraud is an indication that civilly you're going to be found guilty as well. So this is one of the things that we've been looking at, and who knows, man, maybe he will be indicted on more serious charges. He personally will, and it won't just be his businesses, right?
I think that's highly likely at this point. That was something else that came out. I think I mentioned it to you, that the new what's it called? I'm sorry, it's too late. My brain's not working.
Mine isn't either, by the way.
Special counsel.
Yeah, special counsel Jack Smith, right?
Yeah, something
most
really
generic
bland.
ass name ever. Special counsel
Anyway.
Bob.
Bob Jack. They put out subpoenas for election officials in Wisconsin, Arizona, maybe one other state that were part of the fake electors and part of the whole, you know, stop the steal, election denial nonsense.
Right.
So it looks like he's moving pretty quickly.
That's wonderful. So anyway, I hope he goes down on that. All right, there you have it, guys. That's the news. I guess I'll say one more thing. John Bolton says he might run for president.
Oh my God.
The guy who has openly called for...
Got my vote.
The guy who's openly called for invading and toppling Venezuela, Iran, North Korea, Syria, Iraq. I'm missing like 4 other ones, but basically he's never been a country he didn't want to bomb. He was responsible for getting the U.S. out of the International Criminal Court. He was one of the chief architects of the Iraq War. He was one of the chief orchestrators of pulling out of the Iran deal. This is the guy literally, like, his whole thing is, I like death, and I want to create more of it. And he thinks he might run against Trump, which, ironically, to come full circle in this conversation, that's the one thing that could make Trump win the primary, is if there's like 12 Republican douchebags who run against him and they split the vote. And then Trump has that path with like 33% and he just wins.
Who would you rather have as president, John Bolton or Trump?
I would rather shove my nutsack in a waffle iron
not an option.
than have to answer that question.
That's not an option.
I would rather take a pitchfork and shove it up my dick hole
Not an option.
than have to answer that.
You gotta pick John Bolton.
I
or
would
Donald
rather
Trump.
I would rather dive into a pool of fat man diarrhea than have to answer that question.
Is it because you love them both so much you can't pick?
That's exactly it. You got me. Yeah, no, I can't answer that question. Trump is a neocon also, you know, and he also literally tried to like overthrow democracy.
He literally
Like the country?
hired John Bolton.
Right, yeah.
So.
By the way, my favorite John Bolton quotes are when he said, when Trump was in the middle of negotiating with Kim Jong-un, he goes, yeah, we should do the Libya model with North Korea. So you're literally saying, like, we should make a deal with North Korea and then ignore it and overthrow their government. That's what he said by saying we should do the Libya model. This was when Trump was talking to Kim Jong-un, he said that. And then the other thing is, he said, I've planned some coups in my life.
Oh my God,
when he was talking about January 6th, he's
yeah.
like, look, I've planned some coups in my life, and just so you know, it's like, what? How do you just casually admit that shit?
That was quite a moment.
Yeah. All right, guys, we love you. We got to get some sleep. We got, a show tomorrow, a bunch of travel. Yeah, so we'll talk to you soon. Much love. Peace.